Hi there, this is Jodi Phillis on Retrospectives with John Broughton on Casey Radio 97.7 FM.
A long time since we last spoke. From memory, you were living in Tasmania, I think, at that time.
Oh, wow, yeah, okay, that was, I don't know when that was, 2000 and something.
Early 2000s, I think, yeah. Where do we find you these days?
I'm in Wollongong.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is fine. It's interesting. Dave Graney says he finds Wollongong confusing, and he's right, I think. It's very diverse.
I've never been there, so I'll have to take his word for it.
Yeah.
A solo album number 6 for you, and you've certainly, well, I guess now you've produced more output as a solo artist than albums released with the Clouds back in the day, where a lot of people would know you from. Is that something you wish more people would be aware of? Yeah,
it is. But, you know, they're catching on, whatever. You know, I can't control that. But yeah, it is. It's something I'm aware of, put it that way.
Yeah. With Cheer Squad Records for this release, a relatively new label. Tell us how the association came to be and how you're finding them to work with so far. They seem like real go-getters.
Yeah, well, Wally, I mean, I didn't really know Wally from the 90s, but obviously we were in the same circle, the same kind of alt-rock scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I've always known of Wally, and a friend of mine suggested I reach out to them because I really just didn't want to put this album out completely independently again this time. It's just too exhausting and time consuming, all of that side of stuff. So I sent it to him, and eventually I heard back and he really enjoyed it. He just had something happen and he was in a hospital, and he was listening to the record and he said he found it healing. So from there it just went, we decided to work together, and it's been really great. They're amazing. They're a really great team.
It's interesting. You mentioned you found it healing, and a lot of these songs are very personal. Is it a healing process for you at times, writing songs of that nature?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's total therapy. Yeah, I just can't help myself. I write very personally, and I don't see that changing. Although, I mean, I have kind of started writing melodies for other people's lyrics, so that's been really wonderful as well. That gives me a break from, diving in so deep all the time.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's enjoyable, and I want to do more of that as well.
I believe the songs for this record began coming to you pretty much straight after the last album, Becoming, was released.
Yeah, well, I tend to, once an album's out and I've got a clean slate and not too much other stuff going on, then the antenna goes back up and you start receiving new songs
straight into it.
Yeah.
Is there a recurring theme that you think appears through the songs on this record?
I think transformation is probably the kind of tag word. All the songs are, well, not all of them. One's about, climate change and government inaction and destruction and, like just what we're going through now. One of them, it's about the bushfires and how that's human. It was human led, human destruction and greed. But most of them are about going through hard times and coming out the other side a changed person, changed for the better.
Yeah. The song you're referring to there, of course, is Summer of Fires. That's been getting a lot of attention, that one. Great a song as it is there a part of you that wishes you didn't have to write a song like that?
Oh, sure is. I listen to it and think, well, it sounds beautiful and, gee, it's really heartfelt, but God, it's so depressing. But it's a call to action, so it's not, it's not dismal and depressing, really. It's a empowering song. Let's change. We have to change, and I think we are now. I mean, how great was Tanya Plibersek's, her new document is just, you could see the pain in her as she had to deliver that. And thank God we're doing something, you know, as a nation, as a world. People are waking up.
Yeah.
Now that London's having 40-degree heat, you know, it's like, it's scary. And I know our kids are scared, and it's just weird. Oh, now I'm going to start ranting and crying.
Being very much an independent artist, I can't begin to imagine for you that the time-consuming process of getting an album out into the world, from the beginning, writing the songs, to touring the album, along that journey, along the way. Are there any moments that you question if it's all worthwhile?
Fuck yeah. I mean, I don't know, this time around, I mean, I've done it so many times, and I know I will do it again. But it does take years, and that's years of no one paying you anything, you know? It's just pretty crazy. And it seems to be, as you get older, you kind of weigh it up more and more and go, wow, does this make sense? But, you know, I managed to do this one on a pretty grand scale because I got a grant from Create New South Wales. Mm-hmm. So that helped me pay for videos and master, you know, like, I don't know how much, if you added up how much it costs to make an album, not including your time to write the songs and my time to record the bones of the songs.
Yeah.
It probably costs, I don't know, 50, 80 grand, you know, like, and that's conservative, you know, paying everyone and everything. And not your time. So it's just quite mad. Probably the next time, like I've got ideas for the next album. I think the next one's going to have to be very intimate folk music that I can just record myself and put out very easily.
Yeah. Just
to have a break from the whole production, you know, all the costs involved and the different facets that you have to be in charge of. So I'll probably do that for my own stuff. But there's a few other projects, collaborations I have in mind, you know, which will be a bit different. I'm writing songs with Gianni Menichetti, who was Ballymeier's lover for decades in Positano in Italy. So I've got things like that on the boil. And again, they'll take years. But that's what I do.
Yeah. So on the other hand, are there any specific moments along the way in the journey that convince you that it is all worthwhile?
Well, I just can't not do it. You know what I mean? You know, like I don't want to sound like I'm complaining. It just is what it is. And I've never set out to make these songs or these albums for money. Like, it's just, they don't go together. It's art. So, you know, if you're an artist, that's what you do. And I'm just at this stage in life trying to get my life organized so that I can remain an artist. So, I'm just like where I live, how much I have to spend to live, all of that stuff. That's my goal now, is to set myself up for the rest of my life, however long that is. I'm 57. And to live as an artist. So I won't go into the details, but I'm in the process of setting up my life so that I can live as cheaply as possible and securely, so that I can just make art and music every day. I compose for the screen, so that's making music and art. That's a really creative process. It's full on, and you are working for someone else, but at least you get paid. So that's good. I'm doing a lot of that. And I look forward to doing a lot more painting as well.
How important is it as an artist, as a musician, to have that second creative outlet like you do with your painting?
Well, I've only recently discovered it, and I found it extremely extremely therapeutic, and enjoyable. And I haven't had time to do it for like 6 months or more, so I'm really missing it, and I can't wait. This is part of my grand plan for the rest of my life, is to get in a position where I can just spend a few days a week painting.
You mentioned videos, and there's a beautiful video for You I Loved on this album. It's beautifully shot. Can you tell us about that one?
Yeah, our friend who lives in the Illawarra, Derek Kreckler, who's quite a kind of renowned visual artist. And he made the video. He kind of thought up the idea and organized the whole thing. And yeah, it's gorgeous. There are a couple of local camera people and Todd, the star of the video. It just all came together under Derek's guidance, really. I didn't have that much to do with it.
You got Damien Lane on board producing, who's noted for his film and TV score, so I guess that would have played a big role in the cinematic feel that comes across on this record.
Yeah, huge. Yeah, I'll be forever in debt to Damien, and thankful. He just put all his time and effort into that soundscape, and it just is beautiful. And he's a good mate. We're about to have a rehearsal today with the band. He's in the band. So yeah, I love what he did with it.
What else does he bring to the table as a producer?
Well, his guitar sounds are so beautiful, and I guess that we both have a real love of, independent modern film noir like David Lynch, and we're both fans of Ennio Morricone, so it's just kind of a natural thing for us to work together. When we discovered that, when I first heard his guitar tones,
mm-hmm.
I thought that would work with my songs, and it has.
A couple of songs co-written with the poet Martha Sear, who I believe is a friend of yours that you go back a long way with.
Yeah. So Martha was a friend of the Clouds right back in the very beginning, and she's really incredible human being, very clever and big imagination and brain. And she would come in and sort our fan mail for us. So we've known her that long. And it was more recently that I realized she's actually a beautiful poet. So that's been a really great collaboration.
So how did the creative process work in particular on those two songs?
Well, You Are Loved happened by accident. She sent me that poem that she had written for a friend, exactly as it is in the song. I haven't changed it, except for repeating the chorus. And as I was looking at the words for the first time, just a melody just started forming in my head, and literally after reading the email, I picked up my guitar and figured out what the chords were and demoed it and sent it to Martha, and in like 10 minutes it was like, oh, this is what happened to your poem. And I really loved the melody, so that was just a magical event.
Did it surprise you? Did it surprise you how quickly the melody came to you?
Yeah, well, that doesn't happen all the time. I mean, it does happen, but that's a kind of a rare occurrence. And, well, yeah, I mean, fully formed like that. Like, usually a melody will come to you, but then you have to kind of shape it and, spend a bit more time to put it into some sort of song form.
Mm.
But, yeah, the whole thing just kind of came, like, bang, there it is. And then because that was successful, we thought, well, let's try it the other way around. And I sent her the melody for Summer of Fires, told her what I wanted it to be about. And she sent me back beautiful verses, the lyrics for the verses. And then I fleshed it out with the chorus lyrics. Yeah, we've written another song as well. And I hope to write more with her as well.
If you had to point to one song as being the centerpiece song on the album, is there one you could point to?
Maybe Silver Stars. That one, there's something about that one that is just quite magical, and I really love it. But yeah, it's a bit hard to just point to one. They're all quite different.
I was going to mention Silver Stars. There's a real... I guess you could call it a hippie, trippy sort of psychedelic vibe to that.
Yeah, that's right. And which is great because that's what the words are. I mean, it's kind of spanning childhood in Los Angeles, where we lived when I was a kid, and just always being a lover of American kind of West Coast folk and psychedelic music and culture. So it just kind of put together. And then the video I made with a couple of friends of mine, and the whole thing just painted a beautiful picture.
So that arrangement was pretty much already in mind when you'd written the song?
Oh, well, I had all the chords and the melodies and the keyboard line, but then Damien fleshed out the cinematic, beautiful, like arpeggiated glockenspiel and all the freaky sounds going on. That's Damien, yeah.
Yeah. So generally,
but it really suited the lyrics perfectly.
It did, yeah. Generally, did the songs end up varying too much from how you originally envisaged them?
No, not really. No, I think with this album, Damien was very respectful of the original form of the songs, because essentially they're all just kind of folk songs. You know, I can sing them on acoustic guitar, and I have, and I'll continue to do that. So the structure of the songs is pretty much the same.
Yep.
But he just fleshed it out and gave it this beautiful bed of cinematic lushness. But we do work together on composing jobs. We've got 2 jobs that we're doing together, actually, for the ABC. And I know that Damien loves to take a song and just completely rearrange the structure of it, which I can see he does that really well. But he didn't do too much of that on my album.
Now, I bought myself the vinyl copy, the clear vinyl, which I'm so glad I did, because it's a beautiful, striking cover photo on the album. Can you tell us about that?
Oh, yeah. Well, in 2019, when I was on a bit of a solo world tour, and one of my main destinations was Positano to meet Gianni Menichetti and to visit the home of Valley Myers in this really wild, dense valley underneath the cliffs at Positano. Mm-hmm. And that was wild. So yeah, I went there with a couple of friends and had tea with Gianni and just chatted. And his partner at the time was there, Joanna Polaris. So she's a Londoner, Cypriot Londoner, amazing photographer. She works in analog only. And I didn't realize until after I'd left Italy and come back home, and then I looked up her website, and I just fell in love with her imagery. And that one particular photo just grabbed me, and I was like, I need to have that as the cover. So I reached out to her and organized it. Yeah, it's beautiful.
It is. It certainly is. Now, as we speak, you're preparing to take this new record on the road. Do you see that as something as a completion of the journey of these new songs, to put them out there in a public forum?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, hopefully the songs will just continue their journey on their own. See what happens. But yeah, definitely. And it's weird planning a tour, I tell you, after the whole COVID thing. And so I was kind of on a roll just before COVID hit. You know, I'd been touring and I was really in the zone. Mm-hmm. And yeah, and then when COVID hit, it was, well, you know, every musician must have their own story about it, every human, but it really sets you back with the confidence to do this, just because of the cancellations that keep happening. And I'm aware now that we're going into another spike, and there's a pretty good chance that someone's going to get sick and some gigs are going to get cancelled. You know, it's a pretty good chance that's going to happen. So again, I'm just like, oh, whatever. We'll just go for it, see what happens.
Just roll with the punches. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's all you can do. So who's in the band that you're bringing down?
So Damien and Matt Stefan, who is in Dakota Ring. I don't know if you've heard of them. Yep. He's on bass. And Phil Lally, who's in Bridge, who just played recently. They had their 30-year anniversary or reunion tour. They're like a heavy garage rock band. And he's also in another awesome band called Ape Rib. So he likes playing with me because he can just chill out. Usually he just full on 90s thrash.
And after all that, the Clouds are heading out for some shows to celebrate the anniversary of Penitentiary, I believe.
Yeah, so that'll start gearing up. I just got to get through this tour and then I'll get into Cloud Zone.
Cloud Zone. Busy times ahead. Hey, Jodi, thanks so much for your time. Congratulations on the record. It's a beautiful record, and you'll be down here at the Brunswick Ballroom and down at Archie's Creek at the Caravan Club, both fantastic venues. I'll be there at Brunswick, giving you a wave. Looking forward to it.
Awesome. Come say hi. Thanks so much, John.
Pleasure. Enjoy your rehearsal. Hope it goes well.
Thanks, mate. See ya.
Thanks, Jay. Cheers.
Bye.